So I've been debating if I was going to make this video or not. But after a certain amount of time, I thought there's probably somebody out there that needs to hear it. So normally, those of you guys that are over on Twitch, I stream every Saturday, and I normally don't get away from doing that often. And I posted a message in the Discord essentially saying I wasn't in the right headspace to stream, and I didn't really elaborate on that. And this is the video to elaborate on it. I for a while now, I've struggled with depression, and it's something I've dealt with for probably 2-3 years. For a while now. I'm going to mute this. Sorry, I was playing Skyrim. You guys can kind of see there. I was playing Skyrim for a bit. Just in my free time, testing some stuff out. I'll mute it. So you guys don't need to hear the Skyrim music in the background, since this is kind of a serious vid. But yeah, I've struggled with depression for a while. And Saturday I hit bottom. And I was going to take the final step. And those of you that know what that means, you understand how serious it is. And those that don't, if I had taken that step, I wouldn't be making this video right now. I wouldn't be streaming tomorrow. I wouldn't be doing anything. Because I wouldn't be here anymore. And I had already planned out what I was going to do. I had texted my nearest relatives goodbye, and I was going to just do it. And I was getting ready to, and I had a second where I remembered my own kind of advice. Here's Halo. I got a kitty. And that advice was to make the call to the hotline. And I don't know why I chose to do that, but I did. And it is probably the first time I've ever made the call. I've always told people, make the call. Instead of, I know. Instead of doing it, make the call. And I did. And for about the next hour, I was on the phone with the hotline. And it wasn't anything judgmental like I thought it would be. Like that, they of course asked, do you have a plan? When do you plan on doing it? Why are you going to do it? But there wasn't any judgment. They just sat and listened. And then I'm not going to get into the reasons why I started spiraling like I did. That's not, really relevant to the reasoning. But I told them the reasons and what I'd been going through the last few months in my personal life, and they immediately started giving me some resources to kind of help and to look into things. And then after they got me those resources, which was only about maybe 3 or 4 minutes to do, to get like a massive list of different resources to possibly help. They just talked to me. This lady who I'd never met before. I didn't even get her name. And I'm sure she probably doesn't recognize my voice if she does. I was kind of a mess that day. But she sat there and she just talked to me. And it wasn't about what I planned to do. It was, well, what music do you listen to? What do you like to do? What do you... It kind of felt, in a way, kind of like a date, getting to know somebody. And I know that's not what it was, but that's kind of how it felt. It felt like talking to a friend. And she kept kind of asking, do I feel comfortable hanging up? And I told her truthfully I was scared of what I would do if I did. And that phone call probably went an hour plus before we hung up, and my brother came in, which, if he stumbles across this, I'm sorry I scared you. I was just, what I was going through, and I was in a dark place, so I apologize for that. And it was kind of refreshing to just talk. And I know that there's a lot of people that when people take that final step, that they always say, well, man, it's so surprising because they seem so happy and they seem like nothing was wrong. And I hear that, and every time I think, because you don't know, because you didn't ask. And even if you did, they lied to you because they didn't want to admit they needed help. And that's because that's my story. I never want to admit when I need help. I never want to admit when things are wrong. And I hide it by acting happy, and I hide it by, making jokes and stuff. And I do it so well that when I'm actually happy and when I'm actually making jokes, that's who I am on the outside. So, like, I'm making the jokes. I'm actually happy. But when I'm also dealing with the stuff, that's how I also mask it. And I'm also depressed at the same time. And a lot of people get to that point where they can mask it really, really well. So I understand the struggle that some people have. But I understand the other side of why would they do that? Why would they go through that? And that's why they don't want to ask for help. Sometimes they need that little nudge. But I promise you, if you just try to take the steps when you're at that point, because that's where I was. I was 100% committed to doing it. If you take those steps, I promise you, it's a better thing to talk things out and search for help than giving up all hope. And it doesn't matter your reasonings. All you got to do, even if you don't know the number, all you got to do is Google the word. The word that is that final step. And I don't think I can say it because of YouTube's TOS. We all know what I'm talking about. But if you take just that one step and just open your Google, type that word in, hit enter, it's going to be one of the first things that pop up, regardless of where you are. They will find the region you're in. They'll be like, hey, that's a number right there. Call it. You don't have to do this. And I promise things will get better. That there's people out there that can help. That can just listen. And I know you're okay. My cat's all upset at me right now because she doesn't think she got enough food, but she did. You got a lot of treats. And this is another reason I'm glad I didn't do it. Because I got a kitty I got to care for, don't I? Don't I? Yes. Yes, I do. But I took an hour to just talk to somebody that I didn't even know. And I didn't get her name. I don't think she got mine. And if somehow she stumbles across this, thank you. Because you helped me more than you think you did. And I continue the fight. And it's a fight I'm going to continue with for a very, very, very long time. Probably the rest of my life. I'm going to keep fighting it. And maybe one day I will lose. I don't know. Probably not, but it is a possibility. It's a fight that people all over the world face every day by the thousands, the millions. And a lot of people lose it. A lot of people lose this fight. And it's always a sad time when they lose that fight. I think the best advice I can give the people that aren't involved in that fight is always check in on yours. Check in on your family. Check in on your friends. Be there to listen to them. If you can tell that they're struggling, if they seem kind of distant, kind of quiet, kind of just not all there, randomly out of the blue, talk to them. That's one of the main signs for me. If you're able to get through to them, you could probably help them. I'm going to continue to fight. And you're not alone in the fight you're giving. But you have more weapons to fight that fight than you know. All you got to do is look for them, man. And there's going to be good days. There's going to be really, really bad days. I had me a really, really, really fucking bad day this past Saturday. I came out the victor, and they're going to have to wait another day to get me. If they ever do. But I promise I'm going to keep fighting, and everybody out there needs to keep fighting too. I don't know how I'm going to end it, but I think I'm just going to end it here. I love you guys. And I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep fighting. And I'm going to keep going. See you guys soon, okay?